What's happening, AJ?
Nothing much, man. Did you have a fun 4th of July?
Is that next weekend?
Let me guess.
What?
Did the same thing you always do.
Try to take over the world?
Yes.
Yeah,
Were you
yeah,
successful?
that's exactly what I did. I plotted everyone's demise from the comfort of my bed. Uh, AJ, it was delightful. It was delightful. Worcester is known for its fireworks. Or, okay, listen, I'm telling everybody that Worcester should be known for its fireworks. Because I saw like 14 fireworks displays, and they were all just epic. I mean, like, during a time where I feel like,
Yeah,
people
you
are
have a
struggling.
good view.
Yeah, I have a great view. It's,
Yeah.
it's the one good thing about where I live. And it's but it's like during time people are like struggling and stuff. It's like I feel like we spent millions of dollars collectively as a city on like 5 different fireworks displays. But hey, you know what? They were really nice. So there's that. What about
Awesome. Oh, it was great. I shot iPads with a gun. No, I did. I had a real America 4th of July. Let me tell you.
Wait, is it Wednesday? Is this West?
I was, yeah, dude. I was up to some good old boy stuff. No, yeah, no. I got
Okay,
to.
you gotta back off the mic. You're just maxing out the level right
Okay,
now.
yeah, no. I did shoot some guns, little
Uh-huh.
target practice. Shot some
Woo!
fireworks as well,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, had some great food, and I watched Ballerina, the John Wick movie, and it was okay.
Yeah. Awesome Tatum's wondering if you did some cow tipping.
No, I've never done
No.
cow tipping.
Never?
Never.
All right, tune in on
There's a lot of
Wednesday for
cows
an
here.
update on cow tipping.
I could drive just a few miles and probably find some cows to tip.
Nice. All right, man. Let's get this show started. What a
Let's
disaster
go.
introduction. This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every single MonJay, Wednesday, and 2 Eyes Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure. But we care. Hey, wake up. Thank you. But we care so much about your oral pleasure. That's why we put this thing on podcast services of your choice. My name is Brian Poffnish, and I'm right here with that Parole and the Shimon over here to my left, to your right, every single Monday. It's AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
Don't sound too excited, Brian. What is up, Game Cats? What is up, Brian? What is up, everybody, man? Like I said, hope everybody had a fun 4th of July, except for England. Hope you had fun working.
And Canada.
And Canada.
Not the whole world doesn't celebrate the 4th of July, AJ.
They should. They should. It is
Yeah.
a glorious holiday. That is very un-American of them.
That's true. It's very un-American of them. America.
Oh, but yeah, man. No, I had a wonderful weekend. Of course, went hiking. It was great. Beautiful weather. Had an awesome time, man. Thanks, man. I know that Mondays usually suck, but we are here, Brian, to ensure their Monday sucks. Just a little bit less.
AJ, now that it's Monday and the 4th of July weekend is over, we encourage everybody who's interested in joining some people who are trying to lose some weight. Anybody who missed out on getting a summer bod, anybody who's interested in getting a fall bod. The only people losing weight for Halloween, the Game Cats.
Yeah.
Come join our Discord. Click the link in the description below, and we're trying to motivate each other. I had lost 50 pounds over the last year leading up to the Game Cat meetup, and that was only half of my weight loss journey. The other half began 5 days ago. So on my way to lose another 50 pounds by before October. Before October. That's the goal. I want to spend October slim and trim. So everybody who wants to lose some weight, get in there. The weight loss channel. Post pictures of your scale. Let us know what your goals are. And it's just a place where we can all kind of motivate each other and also hold each other accountable. I'll tell you, AJ, I know a lot of people who diet say don't weigh yourself every day, and I understand that, right? Because there's gonna be a lot of fluctuations. But the number of times I've been laying in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't order a fresh way pizza because I knew that when I woke up I was gonna have to weigh myself and take a picture and share it with people, share my weight in the morning. I tell you, man, don't pay attention to the numbers. But knowing you have to post a picture, I think really will keep people on the straight and narrow. It's been working for me so far.
Very nice.
So that's a thing.
Let's get healthy so we can play video games for longer.
Yeah, I mean when you play video games all day, I think there's this expectation that VR games like make you sweat and they're more active. But so frequently, I'm just standing in the middle of my living room going boom boom boom.
Yeah, it depends on what you're playing. There are some games that you definitely get some cardio. We talked about this recently with like anything from Mutant Boxing League to Beat Saber to, if you put Synth Riders on like really difficult spinning to get exercise there. There's some good ways to get some cardio and have some fun.
I just don't like sweating in my headset, to be honest with you, especially when it's hot out. I go to the gym every night. I spend 90 minutes a night at the gym. That's enough sweating for me. So I've got that taken care of. Plus, I don't know, man. By the end of the PSVR 1 generation, my headset was in such. It was just gross. Like, it's like you clean it every so often, but it just sort of starts smelling, and you're like, Yeah. Luckily, I picked up a new PSVR 1 headset near the end of the generation that's like barely used. And so if I do go back to PSVR 1, it's like at least it's a nice, clean, new headset. So that's.
I clean mine before, well, definitely after each use, and sometimes before. I clean my face before going in. That way I don't get all my face oil stuff on there. And then I wipe it. I wipe down the rubber after with some non-alcoholic wet wipes. That's what I use to clean it.
Do they call acne on your back knee? Do they call it acne on your face knee? Just saying. We got slapping that ass with the level 1 membership. Thanks for signing up. You're awesome. Remember, guys, I think all the memberships here gives you a free super chat every month, where we'll read your comment right here on the show.
You said their name right once.
No, never.
I think maybe the first time you said it and you're like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But that also slapping the bass. I remember this name, Slap the Bass.
Well, if I was going to say it any other way other than slapping that ass, it would be slapping the bass, because I just think it's funny to show someone hitting really spanking a fish, like this, AJ, spanking a. Is everyone gone now? All right, let's get on with the show. The Game Cat Andrew Ehrenreich with the $2 tip sends cow emojis. I thought they were cats until I really looked at them. All right, we're off and running. What's up, Andrew? Oh man. Anyway, hopefully everyone's doing good. Hopefully everyone recovered okay from their 4th of July weekend and having a good time. We're officially getting into what I'd consider the slower months. We expected that to happen in May. We expect it to happen in June. Did not happen at all, but it does look like July and August could be our downtime. Although I am kind of excited to play Cave Crave this week. Cave Crave looks like a fun exploration game. The other game that's coming out this week I would not recommend. It's called Space Drop, and I played it for 20-30 minutes yesterday, and I literally couldn't play it anymore. I was like, this is just so boring. I was hoping it would be a really fun shooter, an arcade experience, and man, I'll tell you, it's just not fun at all. It looks clean. It looks just like you're seeing here. Here, I'm gonna put full screen. Just looks like you're seeing here. And you're shooting. You're kind of dodging these lasers, and you're shooting, obstacles, and then you're collecting these kind of cubes as you go, and it's just not fun. It was painful to play for even 30 minutes. So
the only reason you actually made me want to play that, I think, is because you compared it to Vertigo Home. But
I didn't. I compared trailers.
Compared the trailer to said it may be Vertigo Home. And
Yeah.
that kind of had me interested. But if it's nothing like that, then I'm back to not being interested again,
It's
especially the fact that you played it for 20 minutes and couldn't continue playing it. Yeah, I think I'm good.
yeah, I would say not fun. And I was looking forward to it, man. I really was, because I thought a straightforward arcade shooter like this, where you're just going for high scores. I thought the movement would feel really good. You know, it's called space drop. You're flying through space at these intense speeds, and it just doesn't have, like, even though it's moving as fast as it looks in the trailer, it doesn't have that sense of speed. Like it doesn't give you that rush, like you'd expect it to, which is really
That
disappointing.
Meteora game that's coming from the India Hero project,
Yeah.
that looks to be like a better version of this. If one of
Yes.
these is going to land or turn out good, that one, still got to wait and see how that one turns out, but that one looks like it has a better chance.
I agree with you, Tatum. Tatum in the chat says it's so 2018 VR. Come on, man. Yeah, I agree. This is just not.
Well,
what
that's
we're
right
here
up
for.
your alley, isn't it? Awesome Tatum. No, I'm sorry. You want like you want 1994 VR is what you want, Tatum. Sorry, my bad.
No, listen, I'm with Tatum. We both want 2025 VR, but we want 2025 shovelware VR. We want the worst of 2025.
No, make it stop.
Anyway.
No, that's actually, because of all the lack of like exciting releases lately, it's the first time all summer where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can actually breathe for a minute. And it's not due to a lack of game, it's due to a lack of good games. But it's been a wonderful opportunity to go back and play some stuff that I actually want to play. That, because we try to cover every new release as much as we can, especially the ones that are like, of certain interest. And it's been awesome going back and revisiting and playing some games that I actually really enjoy, some that I haven't had much of it or felt like I've put the time that they deserve to give them like a fair shot yet. So, and that's kind of what led to our big topic of today. So, it's kind of been like a be careful what you wish for, because last year I was like miserable and I was like, screw every developer that doesn't release anything over the summer. And now I'm kind of like, okay, I can kind of see why a little bit. There's definitely a significant drop in player base and activity and man, but it was also just like, holy crap, it's just like 2 games a week. It's like every week for the past 2 or 3 months, it feels like has been start the week with 2 games to get through and review by the end of the week. And it's a good problem to have, but it's like, woof, like it's been tough to keep up with. So it's nice to get a little break.
Nihilus Ryan in the chat says, I was interested in this, referring to Space Drop. What's not fun about it? Like I said, no sense of speed. I don't think the gameplay is all that much fun. The guns don't feel fun to shoot. They don't feel good to shoot. You can really just keep shooting off in the distance, and you'll keep seeing explosions, and like, so you're hitting stuff and like just kind of it feels like you're cheesing it a little bit. The only thing I will say I liked, and I don't think I like the way this operates, but you hold the grip to move. You pull the grip, and then the grip, and then you move that controller to like change your position in space, and that's how you dodge obstacles. And there's something a little visceral about that, but I think that's the only thing. I think you're gonna like it, Ryan, because you like everything I don't like. So I would say give it a shot and let me know how wrong I am. That's just how this works. AJ, next news story comes to us from Nyctophile Studios. These are the people making Death Relives VR. This is the ongoing story of their PSVR2 support. They posted today, seemingly in response to a poll that I put up on the YouTube channel, asking what your interest in Death Relives is. Like, are you going to only play it if it's in VR? And an overwhelming majority of you, over 1,000 people have voted, I think, at this point, and said, over 75% said we're only going to play it if it's in VR. And I know that that's our audience, right? Our audience clearly is going to say that, but 1,000 people all voting and almost all saying the same thing. That's a pretty decent sample base, I think. So I would love for a flat screen channel to post the same poll and say, what's your interest in Death Relive? So if anybody out there runs a flat screen channel, roughly the same number of viewers, please post that and let's get a user sample base, and then we can compare. But yeah, that's a lot of people saying that they're only going to play Death Relives if it comes to VR. And seemingly in response to that, Yeah, same. Big time.
I haven't even voted yet, but yeah, that's definitely my answer. I don't care if it's flat.
You got to vote, AJ. You got to vote. You got to make your voice heard.
I'll go make my voice heard right now. But props to everybody. Props to 1,000 people that did vote. That is awesome. Proud of you guys, man. Holy crap.
For real.
It is hard to get. You don't know how hard it may be to get that kind of like engagement on a poll and whatnot. That is not easy. So really great job. You guys are just getting better and better every day, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, and this is why I'm following off of Twitter. We get so much more engagement right here in our own community. And so
who voted?
Oh, nice. What'd you vote? What'd you say?
No politics.
Got
it. Yeah, I voted that I would only play it with PSVR2 because that's the truth.
Cool. I voted for the Anarchy Party, just so you know. Like I'm very transparent about my beliefs. Yeah, right.
You're like, I created that poll just for
me. Anyway, yeah. So seemingly in response to this poll, because it was literally less than an hour ago, and I tagged them on Twitter prior to this. They responded by saying, "Hey, as we mentioned, we really want to bring our game to PlayStation VR. Our team includes VR enthusiasts, and we're committed to making it happen. However, the decision post-launch isn't just about sales," which is, I'm really glad they brought this up because this was a concern of ours, AJ, was like, it might not sell to flat screen gamers. Your audience might only be VR gamers. So we didn't want them to go, well, it didn't sell, so we can't bring it to the people who actually want it. They said, however, it's also about the number of platforms we can realistically manage as a small indie team. Porting takes serious coordination and resources. If we can manage things well, we'll start dedicating R&D for PSVR support. We've already made this promise to you, and we're doing our best to keep it. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten you. AJ, you know what this reads like? This reads like, maybe you shouldn't have said anything about PSVR for the last week. Instead, just stay quiet and work on the flat screen version, and then and have these conversations internally instead of making us all worry that you're not going to be able to bring it to PSVR 2.
I like the transparency. I think it's better than nothing, but I agree with the messaging is kind of like, yeah, it's like, well, now you're saying that, I don't know. You clearly are getting more support from the PSVR crowd than anyone else. But who knows? You know, flat screen numbers can be deceiving. A small indie flat screen game can rake in a lot of sales, kind of completely flying under the radar to, like, you know, the top billing crowd or whatever, AAA games and whatnot. They can be deceptively very successful, and sell a lot just by, you know, because the flat screen audience is obviously the wide majority by a large margin.
You hope so.
But yeah, I don't know. We're 1 for 1 on these situations so far with like V-Racer Hoverbike, and you know, they kind of had a similar thing, and it just we just didn't stop to the point to where they said, okay, fine, look, clearly, even no matter how well this goes, like obviously there's a big missing chunk of gamers that we'd be like, you know, foolish to miss out on. So that would love the game, that would play it, that would give it, you know, appreciate it, the art of it, and also, you know, help the developer as well in sales. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they, like, you know, do something similar, but yeah, I have no idea. They definitely seem like, hey, you know, I don't blame them for taking a more cautious approach right now. And some of the messaging they said was like, well, if we do this, you know, we want it to be like a very, like, feel like a built for VR game. I think they said something like that, right? Like they were like, yeah, we want to put lots of time into the port, not just like just to port it over into VR really quickly.
I think I actually have the original one right here, so we can clarify. We're happy to see the interest in PSVR 2 version of the game, and yes, it's something we absolutely have to make happen. However, it depends heavily on how things go after launch. After 6 years of development, our current focus is to deliver the best possible experience on PC and consoles. Pushing for VR support right now without the proper time and research would compromise the quality. We aim for feedback and performance after release are strong. We'll definitely consider working on a proper VR version, not just for PSVR 2, but potentially other VR platforms as well. That said, here it is. That said, we believe VR is not just about running the game smoothly, but also about meaningful interactions in full immersion.
I can respect that for sure.
I can respect that too. What I don't what I have more of an issue with, and again, I'm not trying to put these guys on blast. They're a small team and they're trying to do their best and they're trying to make a good game, and they've been working 6 years to do that.
And try not to overpromise.
Right. Unfortunately, I think that they've
already done that.
Yeah, it seemed like it was going to be a PS5 exclusive. If I remember correctly, it was supposed to be a PS5 exclusive. Then it was like PS4 and PS5, and then it's like, oh, we're also coming to Steam. And when they did their initial announcement, they said, oh, PSVR2 support as well, and it wasn't after launch. They just said, oh, PSVR2 support. Yeah. And so now they seem to be, instead of staying focused and saying it's PS5 and PSVR2, now they're saying also PS4, also Steam, and after launch maybe we'll do Steam VR and PSVR2, and they're saying as many platforms as possible, so that maybe they're looking to bring it to Quest. Who knows? But it's like they're saying one thing and then seemingly doing another. It was like, man, you stay consolidated and then gradually expand. But man, it just sounds like they've got a lot. They've got too many irons in the fire right now. But I could be wrong. Maybe things are going really smoothly over there, and it just outwardly they're not presenting that way.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how the game does, the reception, because obviously, like, I want games to come to PSVR 2, but I want good games to come to PSVR 2. I don't want just to say every developer bring your game to PSVR 2. No, like I want to bring the ones that are good. So I guess we'll get a little bit of info once it launches flat. We'll get a little bit of info as to how it is, and then we'll just have to wait and see if we keep pushing, or if we go, yeah, maybe it's worth fighting, spending our resources somewhere else to try and get a better game.
Meanwhile, I'm like, if anybody's making a VR game out there, bring it to PSVR 2. That's where I'm at with it. It's like, if you're making a VR game, it looks like this is a great place to bring it. It looks like this is still the best platform to bring it to. Games selling better on PSVR 2 than anywhere else. I mean, at least according to developers who are selling their games on the platform. That's not coming from us. That's coming.
Yeah, I think it depends. You take the handful of games on the Quest that are probably like crushing anything PSVR is doing, like total wise. Like I look at games like Gorilla Tag, Exfil Zone, Contractors, whatever those games are called, Population One, like the popular things. I'm sure the numbers there like dwarf the PSVR 2 numbers, but it's these kind of more, I don't want to say like passion projects, but definitely sort of what it is, more riskier titles, smaller developers that are finding more success by a more curious audience, one that likes to branch out and is just looking for the best games, period, versus like, oh, I need just having a shooter that they play over and over each day, or a social game they play each day.
All right, we got to move on. Josh Zosky with the $5 says, I get great exercise from Synth Riders on Master Difficulty. Les Mills, Body Combat, O-Shape, and Until You Fall. Hell yeah, man. Those are all great games to get exercise from.
Oh yeah, Until You Fall. Definitely. Once you get into that can definitely very, very good for that.
Yeah. O-Shape, surprisingly good workout. I think it's because you're doing stuff that that you wouldn't normally do, like in real life or something. I don't know what it is. It's like the way you have to move in O-Shape is just like a surprisingly good workout. But yeah. I still think Mutant Boxing League is the best balance so far for me of fun and exercise. I think it's goes to Mutant Boxing League. Yeah, Mutant League Boxing is a great choice. And is it still on sale? I think it's still on sale. I
think so. I don't know. A lot of that sale is gone now. I was actually surprised. All that stuff we talked about recently is no longer on sale anymore. It seemed like
don't worry.
Went really fast.
Don't worry. There's going to be 17 more sales before the summer's out.
That's true.
And they all overlap too. That's a crazy thing. It's like you can't even keep up with sales anymore. There's usually like about 3 going on at once.
Yeah, just wait for the next day where there's like 5 games dropping in a week. That's when the next sale is going
to be. We got Kill Artist 1, the Dreamweaver Game Cat with the $5 says, sorry running late. Had to get to the end of chapter 2 on Metro Awakening. Love the game so far. Already had a couple of oh shit moments. Yeah.
Love Metro Awakening.
Yeah, well, I wonder where it's going to fall on the top 25 list. AJ, oh, we'll get there.
I don't know.
We'll get there. We got GameCato with the Australian $2 says they're bringing it to Nintendo Labo first. LOL. Death Relives comes to Nintendo Labo before PSVR2. Would not be surprised. Developers really like to target like these the biggest user base they can find, right? So it's like, would I be surprised if I saw that Death Relives was coming to Switch or Switch 2 before it actually gets to PSVR2 launched? No. And you kind of can't blame the developers for wanting to do that. I know you're joking, but like I'm taking your comment as if it's serious. Or at least bringing it to a serious place. So yeah, I can't blame developers for wanting to make money on the game that they've worked so hard on. But we'll see how it all pans out. Vince Virtue in the chat says, guys, I was thinking, how about a top sharpest PSVR 2 games list? Five Nights at Freddy's, no joke, seems like Red Matter sharp. Dude, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted Chapter 1? Absolutely. What a great PSVR 2 version of that we got. Yeah, I mean, what else would be on that list for the sharpest games? Red Matter, fucking Propagation, Subside?
I have no idea. Sharpest specifically, like honestly, it's probably a bunch of shit you would expect. Like if you, I mean, and how do you measure that? Like just the eye test, or do you get the actual resolution that developers provide you for every game?
No, developers will just lie to you, AJ. Just it's going to be based on what we perceive.
Yeah, it's 10K.
Puppy Nugget says, these 8 a.m. streams in Australia are killing me some days. Is it 8 a.m. in Australia?
Good morning. Get your coffee, mate.
I brewed extra.
Yeah.
Coffee. Let's go. Tornado looks like she could use some fucking coffee over there, though.
Rise and shine.
Kill Artist says, kayak is pretty sharp. Saints and Sinners. Chapter 2 Retribution, I would say, Tatum. Way more than the first one. But yeah, Legendary Tales was pretty sharp. Man.
I mean, that's the thing. There's like a lot. I don't know how well that would work. I mean, I think you just go, what's the best graphics? I think that's a little bit.
That's a different video entirely.
Yeah, I think it's a better one too.
All right, you heard it here. Vince Virtua got shut down by AJ.
I mean, listen, there is a nice.
Okay,
there is a nice like.
AJ said no.
I think I saw where it was going, and I'm like, no, this is not working. Okay. There, unless you had some sort of way to actually measure it, like it'd just be boring. I think what's the best looking game? That's a little bit more fun and interesting.
Yeah, but what's the best looking is so subjective. Like, because a lot of us think that the best looking is the thing that's running at 90 frames native.
The sharpness without measuring it somehow.
What? I think I don't know. Like, I mean, I could easily name 20 games that are not even in like that look great, are great looking VR games that are definitely not going to be contenders for the sharpest looking PSVR 2 game. I don't know. I think it would be a fun video to make, Vince Virtua. You should make it, and then I'll publish it.
There it is. Waiting for it.
GameCato with the Australian 2 says, Struthcobber. I don't know what that means. It's 8:30 bloody AM over here, mate. What's Struthcobber? Is that an Australian thing?
I don't know what it means. But I'm going to find out because I know some of the Australian lingo and I haven't heard that. It could just be a typo. Oh, you don't know if you're speaking Australian or if you're just spelling is bad. Wait. It's from something.
Oh.
It's a combination of Australian slang. Struth is a minced oath, originally meaning God's truth, and is used as an exclamation of surprise or emphasis. Cobber is a term for a friend or male. Therefore, Struthcobber is an informal way to say something like, good heavens, friend, or wow, mate.
All right, I'm crossing Australia off my list of places to go. If I ever have to hear someone say Struthcobber in real life, I don't know if I could go on. That sounds rough. Holy crap.
I love it.
All I know about Australia is they have really big knives. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Oh, that's a spoon.
That's not a spoon.
I see you've played Knifey Spoony before. It's a Simpsons reference. Come on, man.
No, that's really good. That's a great reference. All right. Okay.
Is a reference of a reference of a reference.
Listen, usually we make fun of British people here, but I guess it's the Australians' turn.
It's Australia Day.
Right. Everyone gets a turn in the dunking booth.
Next week, tune in for China.
Hey, no. Leave China alone. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Nobody's
anyway,
safe. Right? Nobody's safe.
Including us. We're fucked.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to another news story. And this is we're good. This is just fun. Let's not take this too seriously. I don't even understand. I've never even heard of this website before. But this is from Level Up Talk, and I just want to say that this article is pointing to something that we have been saying.
Breaking news.
Talk to me.
Sorry, breaking rumor.
Yeah. Sony to back PSVR2 compatibility on PlayStation 6. Market trends point towards strategic move. This is I kind of skimmed through this. I didn't see anything substantial here. I didn't see anything too credible here. But I did want to bring it up.
Did they just take what you said and made an article about it and didn't source it?
Not the first time it would have happened.
True.
Remember when everybody jumped on the Killzone story?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like I woke up the next day to being tagged quadruple digits because everyone had jumped on the story about Killzone getting a VR game that Supermassive was making before Sony wasn't happy with the results, and they pulled that back in, and they were going to finish it internally, which, as we know, never came to anything. They never finished that game. They never made that game, or if they did, we certainly haven't seen anything about it. Anyway,
Man Gaming says, "Nice AI picture." Oi. I didn't think about that. Yeah, the PSVR2 is sticking out of the PlayStation. No, the PSVR1. Sorry, it's a PSVR1. It's got a button on the side that wasn't actually there. It's literally being birthed out of what console is that? That's not even a PlayStation console.
Yeah, this is a mess of an image for sure. And you know it's AI. Like, no, I mean, not that you couldn't have told just by looking at it, but you definitely know, because AI doesn't know what PSVR2 is, AJ. If you ask them to make an image with PSVR2 in it, this is what you get.
Sony never released a PSVR2. What are you talking about?
Right, as far as we know. Yeah. Anyway, a new analysis suggests that Sony plans to maintain support for its PSVR2 headset on the upcoming PlayStation 6 console. With the current VR market lacking exclusives, experts. See, this is me. This is me. I'm the expert, AJ. Experts predict that Sony's strategy centers on compatibility rather than developing a brand new headset. The VR market today is not thriving with exclusive titles. Major players like Steam VR and Meta only introduce exclusives sporadically. The recurring scenario shows that new VR games often find themselves in a universe filled with similar games rather than groundbreaking new ones. Sony will not revive the PSVR2 business, but rather make it compatible with PlayStation 6, commented one analyst. As the industry, I just realized. It's not just the image that's AI generated, AJ. It's the whole goddamn article.
Oh no!
I'm mid sentence realizing this is just AI dribble.
All right. So this is just slop. We can move on.
This is slop. This is slop, and we can move on. But I do want to say we suggested this. We've been saying this kind of over and over for the last 6 months, saying because people are like, there's definitely not going to be a PlayStation VR 3, and part of me is like, dude, that's what everybody said about PSVR 2 during the end of PSVR 1, right? We had this conversation over and over. So it's definitely going to happen. They're definitely making a PSVR 2 headset. And here we are, only a couple of years into the PSVR 2 lifespan. People are already saying there's not going to be a PlayStation VR 3. And I think they're right. Right? This time I think they're right, but they're not looking at the bigger picture and seeing that PlayStation can continue supporting PSVR on PlayStation 6 simply by making it compatible with PSVR 2. You plug the USB-C right into the PlayStation 6, and you're good to go. It is zero R&D required. PlayStation VR 2 gets better with the power of the console it's plugged into. So essentially, we are getting a PlayStation VR 3 when you plug the PlayStation VR 2 into a PlayStation 6. More power, more realistic environments, higher resolution, potentially never having to deal with reprojection again. So yeah, and Sony has to do no work in order to support that. They just have to continue on doing what they're doing, which is a whole lot of fucking nothing, right? Why wouldn't Sony do that?
Yeah, I think the thing that would make the most sense actually would be like a revision. I mean, let's be honest, like like it doesn't seem like with the current landscape of everything, and that it would be that they'd be releasing a PSVR 3, but I think a revision of the PSVR 2 would be like plenty sufficient, because I don't see like how much better the headset can really get. Yes, there's like little minor things here and there that could be improved, but to go like a whole nother generational leap, like I think they kind of blew their load with PSVR 2, and they stacked this thing with stuff like eye tracking, haptics, adaptive triggers, headset rumble, 2K resolution. It is a very future proof headset, and like and it's like I mean, I would welcome a PSVR 3, of course. I would love to see that, but I don't see that being their strategy, because they're definitely in very much a defensive survival mode right now after Microsoft just bought half the industry and then tanked it, and then their other competition is Meta, who is owned by one of the richest people in the world, and they're just like outgunned and outnumbered, and there's like nothing they can do except survive. I think we said this when PSVR 2 launched. I think we were like,
yep,
this is a pretty future-proof headset in many that and we've seen some of the small minor issues that it has, like Mura or reprojection. It's like, well, that has to do with the console and the a lot of the programming and software integration there, because you use a PSVR 2 on a PC, and like a lot of these same issues don't exist, which tells me it's mostly, not entirely, mostly a like the console can change this. A new console can change this. Headset's maxed out on what it can do, what games are actually possible at doing.
Yeah, I think we're considering that VR is in kind of a really not so great place right now. Like, and I'm not talking about PSVR 2 specifically. I'm talking about VR as an industry. It's struggling. It's struggling. The games industry is struggling to a degree.
That's what I didn't want to interrupt you, but that's what I was going to say is like, look at the entire industry, dude. Yeah. The entire industry. If you think it's just like, there's a lot of doom and gloom everywhere, and it's the same issues. Games being released, not being finished, corporate buying corporate acquisitions, like all sorts of things. It's all plaguing the industry, and unfortunately the industry is not in a good place right now, and it is turning. I feel like this is phase one of it turning into the music and movie industry, unfortunately, but it's not going to stop me from still fighting for the good shit, like the old guard would. The old guard and Sean Layden and Shuhei. And those guys are gone. So all that's left are the people, man, because there's nobody at the corporate level that's like really like, let's do this. Who cares about money? Let's do this for creativity and passion. And nobody's up there pitching that to investors right now.
Yeah, those days are over. But I am, again, and this is why I think, getting back to the topic at hand here, I think this is why this strategy seems so plausible to me, is that Sony's going to take the easiest route out when it comes to PlayStation 6 and VR, and say, hey, listen, there's a small segment of the population that's really interested in this thing. So here's your way to do it. You're going to be able to carry over your entire library. You're going to be able to keep using the same headset, and we get to sit back and do jack shit, not spend any money on R&D. We probably they don't have to make any more first party games, and they just continue relying on third party, because they're bringing in quite a bit of money from the VR audience, making 30% on every single game sold on PSVR2. So why wouldn't you want to continue that revenue stream by literally sitting back and doing nothing? And so that's what I see. That's what I see happening. But yeah, like you said, I also could definitely see a revision for PSVR2 over the next couple of years. Whatever they do, man, I think they're in a decent position for the future. Whereas everything kind of, can look like it sucks right now. I think they're kind of set for the future, and this might have been part of their plan all along.
I mean, I think they got a little lucky here, but this is I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry.
That's all right. Michael Grant with the $2 says, definitely don't feel like I see as much Mura on PC with the PSVR2 headset. What's your take
there's
on
a lot
that,
less.
AJ?
Yeah, a lot less. I've only seen Mura on like one game where it was like noticeable, and none of it was. It wasn't as bad as like Metro or some of the other biggest offenders. But yeah, like even the Midnight Walk comparison is like it was like inky blacks and no Mura, and yeah, so it tells me that it's not entirely the headset. It's if you're playing the same game on two different platforms and same headset, and yeah, so there's something with on the software or hardware side, not with the headset itself, but with the console and their programming. I think that causes that imbalance or something.
Josh Zosky with the $5 says, PS5 Pro is underrated in my opinion. Even Resident Evil 4 remake looks better because of dynamic resolution, as well as games with official patches. I'm assuming you're talking about the flat screen version because I mean, I checked Resident Evil 4 VR remake back to back on the OG and then the PS5 Pro, and there was no difference. No difference. Resolution, frame rate, everything was identical. So I'm assuming you're talking about flat screen, but maybe you saw something I didn't. I saw a lot of people claiming that this was a thing, but everyone I talked to who claimed it was a thing was basing it on memory, saying, "Oh, I sold my PlayStation 5 when I bought my Pro. I didn't do a back-to-back comparison. I did a back-to-back comparison. I didn't see it. I don't think they're using dynamic resolution."
I can play the same PS5 console and go back to it and think the same thing.
Yeah. Well, dude, the number of people who jump back into Village and go, "Oh my God, this game looks amazing. They must have updated the graphics." It's like, no, you just you thought so much about reprojection, and you thought so much about Mura, and you thought, and then you've been playing all these other games, and like your memory isn't reliable like that. No one's memory is that reliable. And so
maybe maybe if it's running at a slightly smoother frame rate as well, maybe it just cleans up the image naturally a little bit.
Maybe, but
because a Pro is like, without a patch, a Pro or dynamic resolution, dynamic frame rate, it's not going to really make a difference other than it's going to be like running at a PlayStation 5 that's running at its best, at its peak performance all the time. And that can cause a difference. That's why some games the frame rate doesn't drop as bad or drop at all. But that's not like a patch. That's not a changing frame rate. It's like, no, the game just doesn't run well on a base PS5 and runs okay on a Pro.
Yeah, I mean, again, I tested Village back to back too, and so no difference there. Not from what I saw. And I tried to get real specific with things. I didn't just casually play it. I'm looking at specific details, and then immediately switching over with a headset that's already hooked up and ready to go. The game's already, so I'm taking off one headset, immediately putting on the other headset and seeing the exact same scene. I don't know how many people did that. So at this point, I've got to trust my own experience with it. But I'm not trying to discount anyone else's experience. I just want to know, did you test it the same way I did? And if you did, very cool. Pigman in the chat said, weird how we're back to silence with Aces of Thunder. It might be weird, but it's also, I think, very reassuring because it sounds like that game was not ready to ship, and they took all of the feedback and they're going back to work on it, which is a good sign.
I hope so. They didn't respond. They haven't responded to me ever since I sent them the feedback. They seemed really nice to me until I sent them that feedback, and then they didn't say a word since. I don't know. It's possible I sent them too much. I maybe should have condensed it down into really quick notes because
Oh, you had a lot to say. That doesn't sound like you, AJ.
Yeah, I should have shortened it, and because I think even if I was in their position, it could be super useful. But if I see like a wall like of text, it's like, yeah, I'm not reading that. I don't care if it's useful or not. Like, I'm not reading that shit. I'm not risking it. But yeah, the thing is, like I said before, the game, it wasn't ready when I played it, but it was close. Like it was pretty close. I was definitely feeling like maybe 6 months out or something at least. But I definitely feel like they are working really hard on it. Like it felt like they, it felt really good in many ways. But yeah, I think they need to just keep their heads down and keep cooking till it's ready. Because if they still had work to go, but if they achieve, like, finish polishing out the rest of the game that needed it, you're easily looking at like a top 15 game at least.
Yeah, I mean, also no one saw the PSVR2 version, right? That's the other part of this. Everyone who tested it out played the PCVR version, and so we have no idea how far in development the PSVR2 version is. So that could very well be the cause for the delay. They might just want to be doing a simultaneous release, and maybe they're finishing up the PC version before starting the port.
It seems like 3 different versions. It seems like a flat screen version, a PSVR2 version, and a Steam version.
Did they say the flat screen thing, is that happening after launch, or are they trying to launch also flat?
I do not know, but it sounds like it's going to be at launch.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully it's a good game, because
I think people are going to like it. Like I said, if they completely polish it up, and granted, that's a lot easier said than done.
Right.
That's like best case scenario. Like, yeah, I think people are going to be very happy. If it has some issues here and there, then I think at worst the game is just okay. I don't see the game being worse than like a 7 out of 10. But it has such a higher potential than
that. Yeah. All right, man. We're gonna keep it moving here. Let's go to. Oh, hey, there's an UploadVR Showcase on Friday. That's exciting. Or is it? Listen, the UploadVR Showcase is not the VR Games Showcase, right? UploadVR Showcase it tends to be very meta focused. They don't seem to edit a lot of what they do. They don't seem to I don't think they go for any kind of curation. They say, hey, how many people are interested in bringing their game into our showcase, and we'll take anyone who's interested. And then it ends up being game after game after game after game that looks like, this low poly kind of walkabout looking games that all kind of look the same. Nothing against walkabout. Fucking love walkabout. But the fact is, like, not every game can be walkabout. But every game, if every game looks like walkabout, you start to, I don't know, man. It's just one after another of games looking very similar. Makes me feel not great about the future of VR, or at least about Upload's reach, the games that they want to include. It's hard for, and what I'm trying to say is hard for me to get excited about this showcase, but I'm definitely gonna be watching it. And if you guys are interested, I'll live stream it on the channel, so we can all watch it together. But I am nervous, AJ. I have a bad feeling it's going to be lots of Quest games and not a lot of PC VR and PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the VR showcase, the VR game showcase by Jamie. I don't know. I really don't care about Upload at all. They're not really our audience. They're not really for us anyway, so I don't really give a shit. They care about their contracts, marketing contracts that they have to uphold, and I don't give a shit about that. What they're obligated to do. I want the people that actually give a shit about VR and like gaming, I should say, and support it more, like what VR Showcase. Plus, VR Showcase said that they're lining up for their best show yet. I think something like that.
You
They
know,
were
I say
hyping
that
it up
about
a little
every
bit. I saw,
GamesCast.
and
I say
you
that
know,
about every GamesCast.
so if
'cause
they're
you have
saying
to
like,
be on
"Hey,
the
we've
hype
got
man.
some great stuff to show you," like that's probably going to be where it's at.
Yeah, you got to be your own hype man, AJ. It's every single.
Why can't I hear you?
I don't know. You should probably maybe open your ears. I don't know.
There we go. Now I can hear you.
All right, good. Yeah, I mean, listen, you got to be your own hype man. You got to constantly keep people interested in the thing that you're doing. Like the thing that Jamie does is the VR game showcase, and so like yeah, you got to constantly say the next one's gonna be the biggest and best one yet, and hopefully it is. You know, and I that's kind of like how his business model works. I think it's constantly bringing new games and upcoming games into the fold, and then the more times you do that, and the better reception it gets, the more people are interested. So you've got to kind of say it, but it also might just kind of happen naturally. I am excited for the VR game showcase. Not excited so much for the Upload showcase. But just before we move on from this, I'm curious, AJ, if you have any predictions for the Upload VR showcase. Are there any games? I think the only developer out there that I've seen has been the people making Stilt, Wrecked Games. They said there's some Stilt update happening in the Upload VR showcase.
Yeah, lots of updates to games, lots of Quest ports, or lots of Quest games. Probably some, PC indie stuff. I think at this point VR Game Showcase probably has more pull than Upload does. With getting actual exciting announcements, even though they're much smaller, they just have better personnel.
Yeah, yes, I did look. Mappy. I did look to see if Tornado was looking her.
They'll show off the new big screen Beyond headset.
Yep.
They'll premiere that.
I mean, yeah, probably, right? There's probably going to be exciting stuff in there for Quest users, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if
but big screen's a headset.
Oh, right. I can. Yeah, I completely forgot they'd released their own headset. Jesus, is that doing well? Do we know? Do we have any reports on that?
I don't know if I have no idea. Actually, the last I heard was that it was like selling out fast with pre-orders, but beyond that, I don't know.
Yeah. Markio in the chat says, I'm torn about the Pro. Probably not. We're probably not getting a PS6 until late 2029 IMO. Yeah. I mean, listen. Here's my thoughts on it. Going back to Josh Sosky's tip here before we move on. I do agree that the Pro is underrated. I think that if you're playing games like Gran Turismo daily, then you're going to be really, really happy with the results. I think if you're playing games, like, there's little things here and there that really make it worthwhile, like Resist running at 120 native instead of 90 native. You go into No Man's Sky, and it's like, I mean, No Man's Sky is one of the greatest upgrades, I think, for the Pro. They absolutely killed it with that. It just looks, it's one of the best looking games on PSVR2. IMO.
But I hear it still has some of the same issues. Like, listen, I have nothing against people that got a Pro that like it and love it. Like, I'm glad. I know how those, like, little upgrades here and there. Yeah, like it's nice. I am not even close to being convinced to buy a Pro at all. Like, I will not support this almost out of principle until there's an actual reason to. It's not, hey, like, it just so happens there's a small benefit here and there. It's like, no, I'm not spending that kind of money for accidental updates, accidental, tiny fractal little updates.
It's more. It is more than that, for sure. And especially if you're spending hundreds of hours in No Man's Sky, I think it's worth it alone. But I hope people aren't doing what I had to do, right? And that's to keep their PlayStation 5 and then also buy a PlayStation 5 Pro on top of that. I think most people are selling their PS5 and then getting a Pro. And so they're only paying a couple, like $200 or something to upgrade. And I think that, and if you're doing that, then I think it's worth it. But if you're just buying like a second console to sit next to your first console, then no, and people are spending multiple thousands of dollars to buy a PC to play VR games. Spending $200 or $300 to upgrade from the PS5 to the PS5 Pro, that is worth it. I will say that. And again, there's constantly new reasons to do it. And there's little things. I mean, there are a bunch of little things that once you see them, it's hard to go back. Like Subside having real-time shadows on the objects you pick up, and that higher super sampling rate in the focal point. I mean, these aren't things you're really gonna notice until you don't have them. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much the Pro gets supported in the future. It kind of stinks that bigger studios like Vertigo, when they release something like Metro, aren't giving us an option to play Metro like 90 native or something like that. I think that would have been amazing. That would have been a great reason for people to upgrade. Alien Rogue Incursion would have been a great reason for people to upgrade if they gave it to us at 90 frames native. But these studios aren't even using DFR, right? So they're not even doing the basics when it comes to supporting PSVR2 properly. So how much can we possibly expect them to support PlayStation 5 Pro? It's very little, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the surprising part is there is a large amount of people that have a Pro that use VR, despite it not having like any like a ton of support. Like when Midnight Walk came out, I was shocked, like everybody, to find out how many people were on a Pro when Midnight Walk came out, or something else comes out. But yeah.
Talk about a benefit of the Pro. Woof. I can't even play Midnight Walk on the OG PS5 now that they've updated the resolution and killed the frame rate. It looks great on the Pro.
Yeah. But anywho. There was some update. I was actually trying to pull it up real quick. There was some update about the PSSR, but I didn't actually see what the update was.
I thought it was the only thing I saw about PSSR was basically them not utilizing it. Is that it?
Something about showing something in 2026.
Well, it's fucking dragging their feet on that big time.
Yeah, I gotta look up what that update was on PSSR. Maybe somebody in the chat can help us out too, but I'll try to find it in time.
Scott, the PSVR Game Cap 4 Life with the 2 quid says it's morphine time, like Mighty Morphine time.
Mighty Morphine Power Ranger.
He said, so I might fall asleep. Scott, oh man. Hope you're doing okay, bud. I sent you a message on Discord last night. I don't know how much you use it, but I was just checking in on you. So glad to see you're still kicking, or not kicking so much. That's a broken foot joke. JD Manning with the level 2 membership says, do you think hybrids actually attract more people to VR or just appease people already in VR? Personally, I think the latter. What do you think, AJ?
Hybrids are the number one way to get people's attention that are not in. There's like so many benefits to the hybrid strategy. Like I can't even count them all. Like one, you get people that they get a game that they love. But
I can't even count them all. One.
well maybe not the best way to lead with that, but
take your time.
But no. Okay. I
can't even letter them all.
Oh my god. I fucking forgot everything I was saying. No. Okay, look, it gets people that are not into VR. That's number one. Number two, it gets people that aren't interested in a flat game into the flat game. Take me, for example, that had zero interest in Hitman, and now it's like one of my favorite games. Like so many different games that I would not play. Popular IPs in particular. Just, I know they were already like really big and stuff, but like I had zero interest until VR, and then I loved it. And then we've talked about other things like the cost, the event, like the potential cost savings there. But yes, the hybrids 100% get people to buy VR. 100%, more than anything.
Number 3. I don't think you answered his question.
Did I not?
I agree that the hybrid strategy is the way to go. I mean, this has sort of been like the theme of GamesCast for two 2-3 years now. But the question being like, are hybrids? Do hybrids actually attract more people to VR, or do they just appease people who are already in VR? It's a great question, and I don't think I don't think we're going to be able to answer it today, right now, right here, because I think very frequently, I think the thing that attracts people to VR is when you have a game in a relating to an IP that people really love, Star Wars, Alien, that kind of thing, and then you find out that you can only play the game in VR. Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, you can only play in VR. Alien Rogue Incursion, you can only play in VR. And sometimes you'll see comments from people saying, "Oh, can I only play this in VR? Why can't I play this on the flat screen?" Right? And usually the answer is because you wouldn't want to fucking play this on the flat screen. Right? The appeal is that it's in VR. You get to be one of these characters and fight these things in VR. The game's not nearly going to be as good mechanically or from a gameplay perspective, as deep as a game that was built for the flat screen. And so that's the easy answer to those people. However, when you get those people in and actually have them playing and fighting xenomorphs in VR in first person, this is the closest they've ever been to a xenomorph, right? Or you get them wielding a lightsaber in VR, right? They might have had toys or something, but now they've actually got a lightsaber in their hands that they can actually destroy things with. These are I think it's those games that bring people into VR. It's like much more than a hybrid. When you say you can only do this in VR, but I do agree with everything that AJ said, that the strategy moving forward should definitely be the hybrid strategy in order to cut costs and make the best games possible.
Yeah, any super big, amazing game can attract people to VR. We don't really get a lot of those. Yeah, I think the hybrid games attract a super large audience, and they also please us as well.
And listen, as long as you're pleased, AJ, that's all we care about. That's all we care about.
Beanie, please the beanie.
AJ, did you see the announcement that Exer Gale, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is coming to PSVR 2? Why is it a 720p trailer? Oh my god, what is happening? I just lost interest in this game altogether because their trailer is 720p. Oh,
it might look better that way.
I mean, listen, I want to point this out. Somebody said recently, they're like, all we ever get on PlayStation VR 2 are these dark horror games. They're so boring. Horror is so boring. This is all we ever get. VR should be bright and colorful worlds and blah. Here's a fucking bright, colorful world for you. All right, you happy? It looks, AJ, this looks really pleasant. You're flying. You have wings. I always wished I had wings and big floppy ears, but I guess it's going to have to be a different game because.
I mean, yeah. It looks like Eagle Flight, but worse.
Well,
and I loved Eagle Flight, but Eagle Flight was a PSVR 1 game, and this looks worse than a PSVR 1 game. Graphically,
yeah.
I don't like the graphics. I hate this art style so much. I want this art style to die a horrible death.
Yeah. This game will be showcased on the UploadVR Showcase.
this game will be on the UploadVR Showcase. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Pizza bet? You want a pizza bet?
I don't think we can bet against each other. I think we both agree this is going to be the UploadVR Showcase. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I want this art style to die so bad.
Yeah.
I hate it so much. Walkabout is the only game that can get away with this, and I don't even like it in Walkabout. It actually kills Walkabout for me. But I kind of allow it because Walkabout's a great game. I hate this art style so much.
I don't hate it. I am tired because it is the generic VR look that we've gotten accustomed to from indie studios. This is just the way their games look. It was charming at a certain point, and then we just saw too much of it. And so, unfortunately, I think I would prefer not seeing this as frequently. However, AJ, the way this would work on PSVR 2 is if it's, we're talking insanely high res. You know what I'm saying? Like, even Walkabout bugs me a little bit because it should be the sharpest game on PSVR 2, and it's not. Right? It has this art style, and it's got a soft look to it. Why? This is what bothers me about this art style. If you're going to utilize this art style, then make sure you're running at 90 native. That focal point in DFR is just fucking 2x super sampled, and it's just razor sharp. That and then that kind of saves this for me. You know, like what you're lacking from a artistic standpoint, which I think there's still something very pretty about this, right? It's just overdone is all. That you can make up for it with from a technical standpoint. I like flying in VR, AJ. I loved Eagle Flight. And I wish Eagle Flight was on PSVR2 because those environments looked pretty damn good. And it was really fun to just kind of fly and explore and look around. And that was enough for me.
Eagle Flight was gorgeous, even on a base PS PS4.
Yep.
People complained about these types of graphics 10 years ago, so I don't see how they're going to like this at all. On next gen $500 hardware.
Yeah. I just want to bring this up real quick. I want to make sure we give this its due. And so this is the listing on the PlayStation Store. I see people saying
a little bit of the gameplay I saw from this, like it looked okay.
Mm-hmm. 10 players online. You get to fly around with 10 players online, AJ. And if it's anything like the witch broom racing game,
it's going to be terrible.
It's going to be terrible. Remember that we spent so much
time. Yeah,
Little
Witch Academia was.
There was no multiplayer. There was just a hub where you could hang out with other people, but not actually race against them.
It was like it was the multiplayer hub only. It wasn't. Yeah, you couldn't actually go race like you said.
Yep, just a social hangout.
Yeah, which was it's like hey, you can hang out in the main menu together. That's the multiplayer feature.
Their in-game purchase is optional. Somebody in the chat was saying that this is free to play on Quest, and so I wonder if they'll do the same thing here.
Oh my gosh, it gets worse.
No. This could be good. Unique flying and gliding mechanic. Pizza bet. This is going to be fun. Pizza bet.
It looks a little fun.
Unique flying and gliding mechanic. Flap your hands like a bird to sweep across the skies in the best flying game in VR. Race together with other players in exciting, yes, we're doing bullet points. AJ's going to love it. In exciting environments with your hands as wings. Join public lobbies. Challenge friends. And experience the joy of competitive sky racing or just flying side by side. Aw, can we hold wings, AJ? You want to fly through the sky and hold wings? Rise through global rankings and customize your flyer with unique wings, masks, trail effects, and tattoos. Oh, tattoos? Bro, I can finally get my sleeve in VR. Not in the mood to hang out or compete? That sounds like what's going to happen to her. Collect points to unlock new levels, sharpen your fight skills, and beat your personal results in single play. I want to play this. I want to play this. Okay, moving on. We can move on.
Gameplay looks good. Yeah, it's whatever. Gameplay looks like it could be fun.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. God, what is with that character? Oh my Jesus.
Is it AI generated?
It's like no, I wish it was AI generated. It looks like I wish it was AI generated, Brian. No, it looks like stupid moth creature from that stupid moth game.
Oh no, not Mixture.
Yeah, it's ugly freakazoid.
Okay.
Character thing.
Listen, before we get to the main topic of the show, I want to get back to tips real quick here. Let's see. Dratz Ebb with the $5. Thank you so much. Says not VR, but then why is this comment here, Dratz Ebb? No. But Death Stranding 2 is phenomenal on a Pro with an OLED. I know Kojima is interested in VR and hope he does something crazy like PT on PSVR2. Oh my God, that would be a dream come true. PT was one of the greatest things ever made. Silent Hill seemed like it was going to be great, and then no more.
You can play PT on in Dreams with PSVR1.
It's true.
For the 10th anniversary, they finished it, and it is shockingly accurate. It's fantastic. Yeah, PT is one of my favorite experiences of all time.
Yeah. Every time you bring up Dreams, I get a little bit more sad.
I know.
Things are getting tougher when you can't get the top off the bottom of the barrel. Wide open road to my future now. Okay. We got
It's
Rocco.
like a fucking arrow.
All I know, AJ, is that
I don't know.
With the 666, thank you, Rocco Horror, for the sign of the devil. Says for AJ. Oh, well, now I've lost interest entirely. You had me, and then you lost me. For AJ, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how much immersion does a B-Haptics suit add to the total VR experience?
Oh, that's tricky. It kind of depends on the game. It kind of depends on the settings you use, how much, and this is a very subjective thing. Oh my gosh! No way! My God.
I feel like I'm about to go play laser tag. What is
you did not just open that? Are y'all seeing this shit? Oh my God! I can't believe you just opened that.
Ermagerd.
I saw you. I watched the episode with on Friday with Reese. Yeah. By the way, Reese, great job, man. I haven't met you yet, but our time is coming, bro. But no, he did a great job. He fit right in. It was really awesome how well he instantly gelled. I think he's going to make a great addition to us. We have plans for you, boy. Dude, he's actually putting it on. This is like
it fits.
Why are you wearing it like a life vest? It looks like an airplane flotation device for some reason on you.
I feel like Marty McFly in Back to the Future.
I think you need to like loosen some of the things on it. It's man, we're one step closer. AJ. We're one step closer. I wish I was next to you where I could like plug it in and like sync it or something. And
if you were next to me, we could hold wings and fly.
Press the button on the back. You'll get a little buzz. I don't know if it's gonna feel good wearing it like that, but
I think I found the button. I think I need to charge it up or something.
It's probably got a lot of charge. That thing's got a crazy good battery life. Crazy good.
I could take this off. Joking.
You have to adjust it first. Yeah, when I got mine, I was like, "Oh, this is way too small." And then luckily, it's adjustable and it fits like anybody. So, but on a scale of 1 to 10, listen, I love my B-Haptics vest. I wear it every chance I get, which is pretty often. I don't use it every single time, but I use it very, very often. When it has like native support, and depending on the game, like it can be like a 9 out of 10 experience. On average, for increasing the immersion, I'd say I feel comfortable giving it a safe 8. Like I think it is very effective. I think it's a high quality accessory, one that I really think should be talked about more, but I guess because of the price, it's not, which is understandable because it's very expensive. But like I said, if these things were like $100-$150, I guarantee you every single one of you would have one and you'd be talking about how great it is, because it is so nice. But yeah, I'd give it like a consistent like 8 out of 10 in immersion enhancer rating. Like I said, that can fluctuate a little bit. Sometimes it can be as low as 6 or 7. Sometimes it can be as high as a 9 or a 10 as well.
Yeah, I do want to play Galaxy Kart with it on.
Dude, I need to do that so bad. I actually almost did this weekend, but I was busy playing other stuff.
Have you been? We'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a great segue to move on to our main topic, and that is the top 25 debates coming up, you guys. That's we don't have a specific date for it. We're trying to make it happen sooner rather than later, but there's a lot of I was going to say a lot of moving parts, but I think there's a lot of moving hosts. Everyone's got a lot of stuff on their plate right now. I was hoping that the summer would kind of be an easier time for us and hopefully an easier time for Impact, the Impact boys, maybe I should say. But everyone seems to be insanely busy still. So if it doesn't happen this upcoming weekend, hopefully the following weekend, but hopefully sometime this month. But honestly, if it doesn't happen this upcoming weekend, it might be for the best, because we've got a lot of games we need to go back and play. There's a lot of games that we need to go back and some of them for the first time, some of them for the second or third or fourth time, and because a lot of these games have been patched since launch majorly, and so that's what we're doing right here. We're kind of putting together a little bit of a list of the obvious ones that we know we need to go back and play in order to have a good grasp on the game. And then also we want to make sure that we're paying attention to you guys in the chat because you're obviously going to have games that you've been playing, games that have been updated since the last top 50 or top 25 list. And maybe you can help us out and let us know if there's any game that we're overlooking that really needs some attention.
I'm going to get a notepad here too, and I'll be trying to do my best to keep an eye on the comments. And if somebody brings up something like, oh yeah, like I need to revisit that we didn't already have planned, then I'll write it down so we know.
AJ, let's kick it off with some of the no-brainers. I think, and this goes a lot for myself. I don't think this goes for you. I think you've already played enough of it. But clearly, Hitman: World of Assassination needs to get a lot of love from me, and hopefully from Wes and Miles as well. Because even though I played the crap out of Hitman 1, 2, and 3 on PSVR 1, I need to go back and re-experience a lot of these levels and really get a feel for how the PSVR 2 version works. The early impressions were very, very, very positive, and I love what I played. But then I keep seeing people talking about the updates, and IO Interactive posting about their updates. So yeah, very, very, very exciting to go back to that. Giving me an excuse to go back to it is fantastic for the channel.
Yeah, man. I like you said, I've played the shit out of this. I still play it a lot. I've put several hours not only into the PSVR 1 version, but the PSVR 2 version as well. And man, it is phenomenal. And yeah, like you said, there's been so many updates, and yeah, this one has a lot of mechanics and gameplay loops hidden within it that, you know, it takes some time to kind of figure out how they work. Maybe I'm sure I can help you kind of get a blueprints on how to tackle this one. I can help you out to save you a lot of time and kind of just get you up to speed with this one. But it is without a doubt making the top 25 list. That is 100% sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think sound off in the chat, man. Like, let us know like where you're at with this game. Like, I'm betting for a lot of people this is toppled Resident Evil Village, has toppled Gran Turismo, has toppled Resident Evil 4 remake. Let us know in the chat what number.
Not as many as you may think. I ran a poll on one of my interactive chats, and I asked, is it the best game on PSVR 2? And it was like everyone said like no, like they love the game, but they wouldn't say it's the best PSVR. So nice. I was actually kind of surprised because this was like right after launch too.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's going to come down to preference to some degree, right? This to me feels like a game that needs to be in the top 5. This feels like a game that everybody needs to have in their library. Like, even if you're not a fan of Hitman games on the flat screen, as I wasn't, as AJ wasn't, this changes everything. And even playing on PSVR 1 with a DualShock 4, right, and controlling one hand with the light tracking on the DualShock 4, even that was enough for me to be like, I fucking love this. No, I would never want to play this on the flat screen, but I love it in VR. So. Top 5 for sure. Distracted is saying top 3. Mad Vegan is saying 10-ish. He said played a few levels but didn't hook him. I think that's an easy thing to happen. Hitman plays differently than a lot of other games, right? I think you just got to devote weeks to it, right? And just kind of keep getting in there and give yourself allow yourself to really experience what this game has to offer. Yeah.
I've been forcing myself through a lot of games to do this, and it works. Like, you eventually starts to click. Sometimes it takes a while, but then you start to understand and see the mechanics kind of unfold. You're like, holy shit, okay, now I get it.
Looper says top 1. Nyla says probably top 5. Tatum says top 5. Yep. Distracted top 3.
100% top 10. I could definitely see top 5.
AJ, a game that I'm really surprised that you got into is the next one on our list. That's Maestro. It just came out recently. I just didn't. I didn't pick you as a target audience for this. I don't know if it was the music. I don't know if it was the interactions or how it worked. But you've been having a blast with this game recently, and I've really convinced me to head back in there and play a lot more before our top 25 debate.
You guys, Maestro has completely blown me away. I didn't know that I was the target demographic for this either. The target audience. I 100% was, and I think most people will be. This is surprisingly, it's become it's pretty incredible, man. Not only are the basic core gameplay mechanics really fun, but the different stages that there are that really help. The different stages, the gloves that you can get, the batons, the crowd members, the orchestra design, everything from the art style to the music to the gameplay to the graphics to the variety there's like actual like a gameplay progression here, like as you're unlocking a lot of this stuff as you play through songs. And down to the humor. There's like some humor and even some VR interactive elements in the main menu and things. It's really immersive as well. This game has kind of blown my mind, and it came out of absolutely nowhere. I had never even heard of it before. I don't think before it was announced for PSVR2, and I just it's become one of my favorite games. It is really, really surprising to me, and yeah, it's been an absolute blast to play. I did a video on the Duel of the Fates, which thank you to everybody that watched that video. I did that on 4th of July. That costume was supposed to go to you, but due to reasons, I shipped it to myself by accident. So I was like, screw it, I'll do the video. But I don't think you would have done it anyways.
I mean, I would get around to it after the accessory video, I'm sure.
But honestly, like I was so hyped about Smash Drums, which I still am. Like I love Smash Drums, but this just comes along out of nowhere, and like this is, I think, easily my favorite rhythm game on PSVR 2. For what it is, what it kind of stands for, you know, like classical music, like representing classical music, and then it's got like movie themes and orchestras. I've said a million times that I got into music because of like movie or like Danny Elfman, like the Beetlejuice theme and Batman theme and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I've been completely blown away by this game, and the more I play it, the better it just gets, and it is blowing my mind.
Nice. Yeah, this is one I'm excited to spend more time with this week. And yeah, I very, very early impressions of mine were very similar to what you're saying right now, which is that I just enjoy playing this in VR. It's one of the best VR rhythm games I've ever played. You know, as much as I loved Audica, you were doing very simple things. You're shooting in VR. It's like, yeah, we know we shoot things in VR. That's what we do. That's all we do in VR sometimes. But you know, but the reason Beat Saber was so great was because it just felt good to play in VR, right? You're slicing blocks with lightsabers. It was great, and it had great DLC. Which, by the way, everybody vote in the poll. I just put a poll up. Should Beat Saber be considered for this top 25 in light of the recent announcement? Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Just okay. Everybody vote, and we'll talk about it in just a second. And this is the first time in a while that I played a rhythm game in VR that wasn't just shooting. That wasn't, you know, it was doing something different and you know, raising your hands and lowering. But it feels powerful. Like, and I think that's something important you need to imbue on the player when you're making these kind of games, right? Like when you point at something in it and something happens, you know, like you feel powerful. And I think they did such a great job that this, you know, if it doesn't topple Beat Saber as one of the best VR rhythm games ever made, it definitely rivals it.
Yeah. It's such a good fit. It's something that I would have never thought about in a million years. And this is where I love video games. Sometimes is when they like do something and you're like, oh, like this works so well. This is such a naturally good fit for VR because yeah, you're sitting there, you're doing this. All there are some like interactive elements to it. And man, it's such a good VR game. It's a good game, and it's a brilliant VR game.
All right, let's tackle this Beat Saber topic real quick here, AJ.
Yeah.
My perspective on this, I think, is that currently, it sucks that we have this announcement, right? It sucks that we have this announcement that it's not going to be supported anymore. There's not going to be any more DLC coming our way. Any updates that come to the game are no longer coming to PSVR2, and multiplayer is shutting down. I couldn't care less. Multiplayer is kind of crappy in Beat Saber. My feeling about this is that, like, I don't want to, like, it's still the same game that's on every platform. Currently, we have all the DLC that's on every platform, and it doesn't take away from how great the game is. When it's going to start affecting my opinion of Beat Saber is going to be when the next track pack comes out and we don't get it. When they revamp the entire multiplayer mode, or give us a progression system, or give us new sabers finally that we've been asking for, and we don't get that. Right? So suddenly that's going to be when, like, my opinion of the PSVR2 version starts to dwindle. When it becomes the lesser version, when it's the least good version of Beat Saber out there. And so for me, I think we should treat it the same, with a massive caveat when we talk about it, saying the future of this game isn't bright, not on PSVR2. But currently, as a current top 25 list, I don't think it should change. I think we should consider it the exact same way that we've been considering it so far, personally. Talk to me.
Hell no, Beat Saber's not going on this list. You betrayed us. Your ass is getting kicked off the list. Sorry, it's not like you needed our help anyways. They'll be fine. To me, it's a good excuse to get one other deserving game on there, and I'm going to do that instead, like Maestro or Synth Riders or Pistol Whip or Res Infinite with eye tracking. I would much rather... Honestly, I kind of wish there was just a insert rhythm game as one of the top 25 numbers that you can list, one of the top 25 picks. I wish it was just insert rhythm game, and it's just a spot that represents all the rhythm games, because I have a hard time integrating them into, like, all these other games. But they're really good. It's just, like, even at their best, they don't usually stack up really well, in my opinion. Obviously it's subjective, but I've struggled in the past to integrate rhythm games into a list. Like, I always feel like, it's such a waste of a spot or something. But yeah, no, Beat Saber, hell no. Beat Saber's not making this list, and I will make sure that doesn't happen. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be a collective no. But no, we're giving Beat Saber the boot. F them, man. I like Yaroslav Beck. He doesn't even own the company. He's not even part of the company anymore. Like I'm sure he gets paid for it still, but no, Beat Saber will be fine to not make this list. I guarantee you the list will be better without Beat Saber on it. Because if you put Beat Saber on it, all you're going to get is fucking backlash. And it's not going to be worth it for you as well.
Oh, listen, I've stopped caring about what other people say a long time ago. You can't be a YouTuber for this long and take anything anybody says personally. They're just miserable pieces of shit, AJ. You got to learn that everyone sucks except for you. JK.
Yeah.
But no, it's but yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's something to be considered. To be fair, Wes wasn't going to put it on his list anyway. Even when it was being fully supported, it never made his list. So it'll be interesting to have this conversation with the rest of the boys and figure this out. What is everybody saying currently as in the?
They're saying F Beat Saber, cancel Beat Saber. Heck yeah, AJ. Somebody said Beat Saber's always said no, it didn't. Shut up. Beat Saber's a good game. I still think it's a a great game, in fact, but
we spent hundreds of hours in Beat Saber. Hundreds. Yeah, between PSVR 1, PSVR 2. It's a great game.
It is a great game.
I'm not gonna weaponize the top 25 list and be like, oh, this game sucks. It sucks. No, it's about the best games. It's not about who's giving the best support to their games post launch. Although that's part of it. That is part of it. I can't lie.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to recommend a game that's no longer going to be supported. Like, why would I recommend that?
Well, so then the question is based on what the game is currently, with all the support that it's gotten so far. Kill the multiplayer mode and say, with all the DLC that you can get for it, how do you feel about this game? Because this is the game from now on. It's not going to change. It's not going to get better. It's not going to. There's not going to be any more DLC. There's not going to be any more and I think that's how we have to rate it. Anyway, 13% of you say yes, it should be considered. 36% say yes, but it should be lower now. And I think that's where I stand. 51% of you say no, it should not be considered.
I'm with the people here. I'm with the majority.
You're
here.
Always with the people. I know.
It's a principle. It's out of principle. It has nothing to do with how good the game is. Which I don't even. Again, I'd struggle to even put it on the list, even if it was continuing support. It just it's never, I don't know. It was at least on PSVR 2. On PSVR 1, like I had a much easier time like giving it such a strong recommendation. I still highly recommend Beat Saber. I still say go buy it today. But in terms of this list,
if you're saying you should still go buy it today, then
I would recommend buying it still. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all we need.
Not ahead of these other 25 games that are going to be on the list.
Yeah. Listen, it doesn't sound like it's going to make the list. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. It's a sucky situation, but I'm not one of these people that's talking about Beat Saber suddenly pejoratively because of recent developments, right? But I will say I have not played very much Beat Saber on PSVR 2. That's not how we rate these games, right? I've spent hundreds of hours in the game on PSVR 1, and if I spent hundreds of hours, it must mean it's a fucking fantastic game. There's something really, really great there. And so I got to remember all these people who haven't spent those hundreds of hours in the game yet, who will absolutely love it the same way that I loved it. I feel like I'm rating the game for them. However, I do think the Move controllers were just so much better suited for this. Every time I get in and try to play Beat Saber on PSVR 2, I just don't enjoy it as much. The Sense controllers are great for a lot of things. I don't think they're very good for Beat Saber.
They're not the greatest. No, I think the controllers are much better for Maestro and Synth Riders.
All right, Scott, the PSVR Game Cap for Life. What's up? Still awake. $2 says your video was so good, AJ. Made me happy while in. I'm guessing that's a little hospital emoji. Is that while in recovery?
Oh, thanks, Scott. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I have more. I really want to live stream Maestro. That video, like honestly, that video doesn't even do that game enough justice for several reasons. Yeah. But I just wanted to have some fun, and I just wanted to I knew the music was going to be copyrighted by Star Wars, John Williams, Disney, whatever. So I didn't make that video for money or subscribers I literally just did that because it seemed like it was fun. And I wanted to be like, hey, look, Maestro is freaking awesome. Check out some gameplay. But there's like so much more I want to show you. So I would definitely anticipate a Maestro live stream at some point because the shit that you're going to see is going to just be like, wow, this is like so.
All right. Some more obvious choices here for games that we need to play before the top 25. Hellsweeper. And this one I think relates more to me than you. You've been spending a lot of time with this. I had stopped in after they updated the graphics because it launched with the worst fucking PSVR 2 graphics ever. And now it looks fantastic. But they've also now added a ton of content since then. And this is easily a game that's going to make the top 25 list, I believe. But I want to go in making I want to go in very, very informed about this game.
I don't know how. Well, I do know how, but it shouldn't have taken me this long to get into Hellsweeper. Obviously, the first time I didn't get into it was because of the release. When it released, it was not finished graphically. And, the devs, they went back to work and they spent 6 months, 4 months implementing DFR and making the game look absolutely beautiful now. And on top of that, they've done like 3 major updates that have like expanded the multiplayer, added bosses, added areas, added weapons, skills, all sorts of things. I again, I had played some Hellsweeper post graphics update, but I don't think I ever really like it. For some reason, it still wasn't clicking for me. I think it was because it's a roguelike, and I just mentally was like, just the thought of it being a roguelike was killing me. Well, I've been talking about recently that I've wanted to jump back into this game because the gameplay is there, and um I am happy to say that after spending the last week with the game, I've been playing it a lot over the course of last week. Streamed it on Thursday, I think. Yeah, streamed it Thursday. Played it a lot more this weekend. Um, Hellsweeper is finally where it kind of deserves to be for me, and that is one of my favorite VR games ever, and one of my favorite PSVR2 games. This game was meant for me as somebody that, like, basically I get to live out the dream of Devil May Cry in VR in this game, both from the gameplay standpoint, aesthetically, like visually, it looks like Devil May Cry as well. It looks and it plays like Devil May Cry. There's a nice progression system now that I'm discovering. There's so much more I'm discovering about this game that the roguelike is like irrelevant. It's like still, despite having that structure, it's not delivering a roguelike experience to me. It's just delivering a regular ass game with some of the best combat. Easily the best locomotion system in, I think, all of VR, possibly. The best locomotion system there is, hands down. Some of the best combat there is, because that's where it gets a little bit more competitive. Because there's some games with really, really good combat. I would put this up with the top, though, with the best. And yeah, man, it has hooked me, and I'm obsessed with it now, and I can't stop playing it. And it is 100% gonna be one I'm fighting for on the top 25. It's the game we kind of deserved. It's like there now. And this mix between Devil May Cry with like the Matrix with some Doom, a little bit of Doom in there too, is just the ultimate combination for one of the best gameplay experiences I've ever had in my life, flat screen or not, or not. This is really, it's finally clicked with me.
Yeah, this is, I mean, listen, Sirento was very special in PSVR 1. Mostly because it did stuff that no other game was doing, because you really took the training wheels off and just let you play a game the way that you would play it, in like a third person action game on the flat screen, and the fact that Mixed Realms is back and they're doing it again, and the game is deeper than it was last gen. Sirento was a fun game, but other than unlocking new weapons, like, it didn't feel deep mechanically, and so. I'm actually happy that they did it, that they made the game deeper by adding the roguelike mechanics. And I'm going to be spending some serious time with this one this week, between now and in the top 25 debate. And I'd like to jump in there with you, AJ, for a little bit of multiplayer, because I think that's going to massively affect how I think of this game.
Yeah, I've played some multiplayer. It's fun, but I mostly play single player, obviously. But dude, yeah. It's all about the combat and the locomotion and the gameplay and the art style, and it is honestly become like one of my favorite games of all time. I'm not even joking. It's so good, and it just makes me so happy to say that, because I was really kicking myself. I'm like, why is this game not clicking for me for some reason? And then, like, you just got to spend time with it. Like, you spend more time with it, and then it gets really cool. And then it just gets even better after that. It just takes some time to kind of get going. But holy crap, I am obsessed with Hellsweeper.
And while we're playing Hellsweeper together, AJ, we might as well go play some Ghost of Tabor, because I think this is going to be a super important one for us to really wrap our heads around before the debate. This is just, I mean, so many people in VR, long before it came to PSVR2, just really roped in so many different gamers, and people just became obsessed with this game. And we played it for a few hours, and really, started getting the hang of the mechanics. And I say started, I mean like we are scratching the surface. And so this is one, I think this is going to require the most amount of time from us before the top 25 debate. The other ones I'll be more than happy to jump in, play for a couple hours. If it really, ropes me in, then I'll play for more hours. This one, I feel like I just need to put 2 full days aside and play from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed. And I'll probably round out the 20 hours of playing this game thinking, I still don't know everything that this game has to offer, right? But at least we'll have a better understanding of it. I'm excited to do this one, but I'm a little apprehensive as well because there's a lot to learn here.
This is no doubt the priority for me because this is the one that I think is the most important to play more and to get to know better. I am curious though. Anybody in the chat, which I see some of you like Bambino Ramos, some other cats that play this game. Where would you rank this on your own top 25 list? Would it be on your own top 25 list? Let's get some of your guys's, those that do play it a lot. Realistically, like where would you rate it? I want to know but that being said, like Brian said, this is one that you and I, man, we definitely got to go play more. This is an important one that we don't want to completely whiff on. So yeah, man, we need to cut out some time and we need to play a shit ton of this and fast because this is the important one to know going into this top 25.
Nihilus Ryan says, Ghost of Tabor hooked me so hard it made me want to play Into the Radius. My question is, for people who have played both, is this better than Into the Radius for you? Because Into the Radius, for me, a top 10 game. And especially since they patched, a lot of the smaller issues that I experienced playing it for review. Into the Radius is just such a great game. It made me go, I don't need this style of game, this extraction style shooter to be multiplayer. But then I played Ghost of Tabor multiplayer and I was like, I take it back. As it turns out, this is a really great concept in multiplayer. And in fact, I wonder if it'll impact my thoughts on Into the Radius, not having multiplayer. But again, this is why we need you guys. We need to hear your opinions. We want you to be involved in these debates, in these conversations, just as much as me and AJ and Miles and Wes will be.
I'm seeing lots of top 10. The lowest I've seen it on the list is like top 14, like top 15. I haven't seen anybody. I've seen maybe some people say that it's not on their list, but other than that, it's like basically been a top 15.
Okay, this is good. Top 4 for Headbite. Good.
Yeah, that's looking forward to playing more of Ghost of Tabor. I was enjoying it but like you said, I've only played 3 hours of it, which sounds like a lot. That would be a lot for most games. That was nothing.
You finished in platinumed Pirates VR, Jolly Roger, in 3 hours.
yeah, less. Yeah, 3 hours with Ghost of Tabor is nowhere near enough. Like you said, we need to maybe hit 20 hours.
Yeah, and I'm excited to do it. This July is like, and if I have to cancel some GAMESCAST in order to do it, if I have to, dip out of PSVR this week for another week, like I did this past weekend, then so be it. Like, it's important for me to finally play these games enough to the point where I'm, intimately familiar with them. And does that mean a review is coming? Does that mean, whatever? Probably, yes. But the number one priority for this is to be able to talk about them with some intelligence on the top 25 list and debate and make sure that they find the right home with everybody's help, of course. AJ, what other games you got that you feel like we need to go back to?
Oh man. To be honest with you, I haven't Ghost of Tabor was like the big one that I can think of because most games I'm pretty good about keeping up with. There could be a couple other ones. I don't know. Why don't you get to your next one and I'll take one more look through the store and just see if there's anything that I need to brush up on. The one so many people want me to go back to, a game that I'm now talking about intimately familiar with.
I am intimately familiar with Alien Rogue Incursion the way it was at launch. but I do not know how Alien Rogue Incursion stacks up today with all the patches and updates they've given it. I want to know, has the has the frequency of the xenomorph encounters, how that affects the actual gameplay? Am I going to want to use my motion tracker more? Because I literally used that one time and then never used it again in Rogue Incursion. So this could change everything. This I thought this was a very fun Aliens game. If it wasn't Aliens, I don't know how much I would have liked it. But if this adds some tension, adds some suspense, maybe even touch of horror to the proceedings, I mean, I could see this being a lot more fun than I had the first time around. So this is a big one for me.
Yeah, I love it. I think the change that they did actually does make the game more immersive. I don't think, other than that, I mean, there's going to be minor improvements, but I think that's the main big thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to completely change everything for you, because like there's still some things where it's like you don't have to use the motion tracker, but it can help you for sure. But you can still kind of like hear them banging around a little bit. So it's like there's like still kind of ways around it, but it's less predictable for sure. It's not, they come at you every minute. Some, they're not going to 100% engage with you either. Like sometimes they'll just come in the area and scare and just freak you out and then leave. So it changes like the biggest problem with the game, which is important. But other than that, I think the rest of the stuff is just minor. But I really hope you go back into it and have a better time, because I've liked this game since day one, even with the spawn issue.
I've liked it. I think everyone else just kind of loved it, and I didn't get there.
So, go
talk to me. Well, I was going to bring up another game, so why don't you go?
Well, okay, I'm looking through a couple big ones, and especially when it comes to like that number one game, I want to be kind of fresh. So I do think I am going to touch a little bit into Resident Evil Village, Gran Turismo, Resident Evil 4, and I want to touch on those a little bit, and I might actually go back and jump back into Horizon Call of the Mountain to see, because it typically does not make it makes my lists usually out of mercy, like, because I understand that, like, especially if that's your first VR experience, like there is a time and a place where that can be really good, but just how normal games are structured, I'm not the biggest fan of it, as you know. But I do want to jump back in and see if if it makes sense to put it above, like, something else that's smaller that, maybe realistically, as objectively as possible, could be considered like, not as good as Horizon. So that's one I might jump back into as well.
What are your thoughts on going back into Wanderer at this point, knowing full well that we are so far away from the end of their roadmap? Do we go back in and see where it is now and see if it's deserving of a place?
Nope. I'm not touching Wanderer until it's done. It's getting the Hellsweeper treatment. I don't just do this and pick and choose games to do this with. It's like, no, like I've been shown over and over. Look at the people that said, "Oh, they've got the first wave of updates out. Let me go back in." What happened to them? They're told that they have to like restart from the beginning. I'm like, yeah, no. This is Wanderer is a different kind of beast. It's like, I will patiently wait for that game to get where it needs to be, but until then, not touching it. It is absolutely not going on the top 25 list at all. Not until it's finished.
Shapeshifter, the Anomaly Game Cat, in the chat says it's still broken. I ran into a game-breaking bug after 10 hours in Wanderer. A key item just vanished and held me from progressing further. I loved what I played, though. Sucks.
Yep.
That sucks. Again, I love this game so much. I kind of even love the broken version that it was at launch. Like, I couldn't recommend it to anybody because I don't want anybody spending $50 on something that's not playable. Right, but what was playable in the puzzles that I experienced, in the interactions, in the new stuff that they had added, all the different combat, even though the combat was crap, there was still they had put so much work into it. And so, like, I mean, so I feel like, yeah, we got this game about a year too early, and you know, part of me kind of wants to throw us on an honorable mention just to be able to say, hey, we love what they're doing here, but it's we couldn't realistically put it on the list, knowing that there's still so much work and so many more updates ahead. So this, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go and spend a couple hours playing this just to find out that it's still broken.
Listen, I still think that, let's say they magically fix every single issue that was wrong with it. Yeah. I still think this has potential to be the #1 spot on this list. But it's got to get finished first to even.
It's so high up there. Yeah, it'll be so high up there when it's fixed. At the end of their roadmap, I do think that it has the potential to be in the top 5 for sure. In a personal favorite, you know, like potentially my #1. Yeah. So we'll just have to be patient with this one and see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's mostly it. I need to play Starship Troopers, man. I haven't played that yet. I don't think that's making this list though, but
it wouldn't make a top 25 list, but it is fun. And if we can get like I think it's 3-player multiplayer, if we get a full squad in there, I would be down to play that.
Yeah. I'm making another list actually, a smaller one. And that's one that I need to play. Doing this helps for both.
I see some talk about the Midnight Walk in the chat. I hate situations like this, right? Because we've specified in older top 25 debates, saying we're talking about the game in its best state. We're talking about the game the best way to play it, meaning if it's best on a PlayStation 4 Pro instead of an OG PS4, and it's best with the aim controller, or it's best with a racing rig, that's the version we're talking about. This feels different, AJ. It feels different when we talk about the PS5 Pro that so few people have, that the Midnight Walk having frame rate issues that it shouldn't have at all, and is only good. It's only like a great experience. I shouldn't say it's only good. It's a great game no matter what, but it's only a great experience from top to bottom on the Pro. So I don't know.
It's not even top to bottom. For me, it's easy. Spoiler alert: it's not on my top 25 list. Here's the thing: if the game didn't have the horrible frame rate issues, which I still have to maybe do a little bit more thorough testing, but that's not the problem for me. The problem was not the frame rate for me. I could deal with that. The problem is the mechanics. The hand cannon that you use is all wobbly and stuff, and it's like borderline unplayable for me. It is playable because luckily it's not a first-person shooter. If it was a first-person shooter, it'd be unplayable. But no, fix your damn game and don't tell us bullshit like the tracking is being affected by the frame rate. That is such a load of bullshit. Like, because even the people on the Pro with the frame rate, with the better frame rate, are still having the same goddamn issue. So y'all are full of shit. Fix your game, finish it, and then I'll put it in the top 10 on this list. It pisses me off, man, because this is like one of my favorite games, and the version that we have is like jacked up. Like it sucks, man. We haven't heard anything from them since. I guess they're still on vacation or whatever. Or maybe they're back now. I need to bug them though, because this would literally, you fix the cannon, and I will still put this in the top 10. Okay, maybe not top 10, but it would go really high up on the list because it's a wonderful game and experience. Just a really rough version that they gave us, and kind of gave us the middle finger and lied about it too. And I'm really pissed about that.
Pietrek F with the 12 plantain says, if Polyphony Digital stops releasing new cars for the VR mode in Gran Turismo, do we remove Gran Turismo?
No.
I mean, I get the question, right? If they remove the online component and say, hey, we're no longer supporting the VR mode, and we're going to stop releasing new tracks and new cars, yeah, that's my big question too. Is but yet the flat screen gamers still get all this new stuff. It's a great question to ask, and that's why I'm trying to have like this real honest debate about Beat Saber, because I know it's the knee jerk reaction is like fuck them, fuck them. And honestly, I think it's fuck Sony because they're the ones making the contract. Obviously, the contract ran out, and they chose not to renew it. So, but yeah, the knee-jerk reaction is fuck them. Your game doesn't deserve any praise if you're not going to keep supporting it. But does that diminish the game that it is? And I think it's a good comparison, Piotrek. I think it's a good comparison to kind of say, hey, like, does this apply to all games or just Beat Saber because it's owned by Facebook, and Quest is going to keep getting the updates? I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't know. It doesn't make a difference if it's with Beat Saber. It's not like it's going to change any, whether it's on there or not. It's not going to make a single difference anyway. So.
Scott, the PSVR Game Cap for Life with the £2 says, okay, definitely going to bed now after my last this Mighty Morphin Power Ranger pills.
Nighty night, Scotty boy.
Sleep tight, Scott. Get better soon, bud. Elderly Morningstar with the €5 says, maybe time to have 2 lists. Oh, Jesus Christ. Maybe it's time for Brian to do more work. PS5 and PlayStation 5 Pro because experiences are different. Yeah, I can't get an accessory video out. I don't think 2 lists is going to happen. I think we've done this before. It's not like we haven't been through this before. We've done this before on PlayStation 4 Pro, and games were, I think, even more dramatically different then. Right? There were some games. If you ever tried to play Final Fantasy, Monster of the Deep on the base PS4 in VR, it was fucking disgusting, right? But it looked great on a PS4 Pro, like night and day difference.
Yeah, huge difference.
So having like a badge or something, on the top 25 that says like better on the Pro or something like that, saying like, hey, it's important to note that like, maybe you won't have the greatest experience. I don't know. I think
the difference is so minimal. I mean, there's only like 5 or 10 games max that actually have Pro support, and the rest is like, the rest is not even like a real patch. So yeah, it's not the same situation.
I mean,
and games on the base PS5, I mean, they already look really great for the most part. Like, so like you're talking about making the difference of a couple stable frames, and it's like the positional reprojection versus regular reprojection. I don't know. It's like these aren't like huge differences.
It's it makes me wonder, like, would Vertigo 2 make it on a list that was only for PS5 Pro owners? Would I do think that the Midnight Walk would definitely make my list if we were talking only to PS5 Pro owners. So I do think that there's a couple examples here that are very, very meaningful examples, where it's like I maybe wouldn't even recommend them on the base, but you would definitely recommend them on the Pro. I don't know.
That would be such a mess.
It would be. It would absolutely be a mess, and we're currently in the midst of the mess, AJ. We're trudging through it. We're trying to sort it out as we speak. All right. Any other games you want to talk about that we need to get caught up on?
No. Okay, I think that's about it. But really, really excited for the debate and excited to jump back into some of these games, especially like it'll be really, really fun to jump back into Resident Evils and Gran Turismo again. Like, I need much excuse anyways, but give me a reason. I'm like, woohoo, yay, this is where work gets fun.
Yeah, I know. I need to drag my racing rig about 10 feet that way.
This is
so that I can
fun part of the job for sure.
Yep. Galaxy Kart for the win. All right, AJ, time to play a 4-minute challenge. Do you have a game picked up?
I do.
All right, you guys know how this goes. AJ's got a game picked out. It could be PSVR 1, it could be PSVR 2, but it's up to us out here to ask as many yes or no questions as we possibly can in the course of 4 minutes to figure out what game that is. So suggest good questions I should ask in the chat, and then based on the answers we get, suggest good games that it might be.
Dallas right in the middle. Feline Fred says, hope you all go back to Song in the Smoke again. That is actually one that I was thinking about going back into.
10 out of 10. The fucking game's so goddamn great.
It's a little bit different on PSVR 2. I'm telling you, it's mostly better, but it also has some stuff like Mura that I didn't notice before that I noticed pretty bad on the version. So that's going to be important.
All right. Well, maybe I'll take another look at it. I just want to make sure it's on the list, right? Because
I would not judge it by the PSVR 1 version. I would not judge it by the PSVR 1.
we have had a list where Song and Smoke doesn't even make the cut, and it has one of my favorite games. I guess I better take another look at it. I'll add it to the list. All right, you guys, here we go. Let's fucking go. Is it on PSVR 2?
Yes.
Is it on PSVR 1?
No.
Okay. Is it horror?
Yes.
Zombies?
No.
No. Did we talk about it during today's show?
No.
No. Full locomotion?
Yes.
Does it take inspiration from other horror games, like very clear inspiration?
I'm not gonna answer that. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, I would say kind of, but I don't think and sort of. Like I think it's it probably does, but I don't know.
All right, that's enough. Is it top 25 worthy?
No.
Does it have puzzles?
Not really. No.
Do you shoot guns?
Yes.
Okay. Shoot guns. It's horror. Did it come out in the first 3 months of the PSVR 2's life?
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Has this developer made other PSVR 2 games?
No.
Okay, so it's not Afterlife. I don't know why I was thinking it was Afterlife. Okay. You do shoot guns. It came out in the first 3 months. First 3 months. Okay, so it's a PSVR 2 horror game with full locomotion. You shoot guns. Oh, good question. Dan Kiefer's wondering if it's supernatural horror.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Could be,
it can't,
but I don't think so.
Can't be Organ Quarter, Tatum. I think that came out in the first 3 months, right? Is there a map system in this game? Oh my god. Never mind. You would know. It's not
Organ Quarter.
Moving on. Okay. We've already said it's full locomotion, so it's not on rails. Is there multiplayer?
No.
Okay, single player. Is it a roguelite?
Yes.
Does this developer make games on PSVR 1?
Yes.
Is this game set in space?
Yes.
Is this game Cosmodread?
This game released May 24th, 2023 by White Door Games SL. This is in fact Cosmodread.
Super underrated.
I am not a fan of this game, but
super underrated.
Anyways, because I needed to pick something, and it was easy.
I love this game. I really do. I think I give like an 8.9 or something.
That is a terrible score.
Oh, it's so good. I was so addicted to this. I could not stop playing it. I loved the unlock system where you just like, and every time you go in, you have no idea what weapons you're going to be using. You get to go and craft. You get to craft shit. You get to gradually unlock the story through audio logs. Man, I just thought this was so well done. It's for a $15 game. They nailed it. I love it.
Totally a 5.9 out of 10.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it sucks.
And
it's not as good as Dread Halls. And it's a terrible port too. It's an awful, awful port.
Wait, why is it a terrible port?
Because it looks like trash, and it has 0 haptics, and it looks like trash.
Yeah, I think there is some stuff in there that I wish they could have improved.
Dread Halls on PSVR 1 looks better.
By the way, there's definitely a map system. It's on your fucking wrist, and it's very important.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
I figured there was one, but I didn't remember where it was.
It's so good. It's so good. I would put this on my personal top 25 for sure. I don't think it'll make a Parole board top 25. I think that's asking a little bit too much for people with no taste. Yep. Big fan. Big fan. Wow, Tornado's just fucking chilling there, huh? Yeah. It's a little hot. She's just chilling. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. This was a good time. Oh wait, did I miss a tip? Oh, Brondo's here. Uh-oh. That's not what I wanted to do. Uh-oh. Where am I? Everything just there it is. We're back. Sorry. God, this whole system is not sure. Brondo with the level 3 membership says AJ talks about sharpness all the time. Just saying. I don't know what he's talking about. You talk about sharpness?
I mean, I do. I do. I talk about games being very sharp. And oftentimes I'll say, it's like red matter sharp, or it's not red matter sharp.
Yeah.
So I basically just talk about red matter.
Sure. Propagation sharp. Subside sharp. Looper, the keeper of the 4-minute challenge, says first time Cosmo Dread's ever been picked in the winning streak.
No, that's not true.
Listen, I trust Trooper. Troop. Oh my God.
Trooper.
I loop Trooper.
What was that? What was the Struth Wapples?
I lust Trooper implicitly.
Struth Cobber.
I'm so sorry, Trooper, for lusting after you. Looper, the Underground Game Cat, says first time it's ever been picked, and the winning streak is 5 in a row again.
Woo!
Repeated 4-minute era record happening for the 4th time.
Hey, we out here tying records. Let's go.
Hell yeah. I'm sure we'll let everybody down on Wednesday. It'll be great. All right, you guys. Thanks everybody for being here and hanging out. Really, thanks for all the support, whether it's financial support over on patreon.com/withoutprogames or being a member over here or by tipping during the show. It all makes a world of difference. You have no idea. Keeping the lights on, especially this one right here. That's like very important. Otherwise, I just become silhouetted.
Yeah. See, this is like this is what it looks like if you guys without your Patreon and donations.
No, without the pay
would look like
without the donation, there isn't a show. It wouldn't even look like this because I'd be waiting tables somewhere.
Shh. Just go with it. Just let it happen.
No, do you think? What do you think is worse?
The show would look like. What?
What do you think is worse, AJ? Being silhouetted or there not being a show? Come on, we got to guilt these guys into giving us money.
Easily being silhouetted.
No, but for real, but for real, it's this channel only exists because of you guys' support. Really, there's not a lot of money to be made on YouTube. There's really not. I'm sure with 300,000 or 400,000 subscribers, it would be different. But this scraping by here, and so we thank you, every single one of you that supports us. Yeah, we know you don't have to. But also, it's not the most important thing. We're just happy that you're here. So make sure you come join our Discord. Hey, come join us in the weight loss channel over on Discord. You know. Might as well. If you're going to be hanging out, maybe lose some weight. Or not. Just happy that you're here. Plus, all of you sit back and watch Joe and don't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there and we love you just as much. Can we just fucking cue the cat so I don't have to look as silhouetted?
Get the motherfucking cat! Brian, because I want to say see you guys on Wednesday to Techno Glitch. The system is down. The system is down.
By the way, wait, while we're on Techno Glitch, is that YouTube ads have at least slowed down. Yeah, because I turned them off completely for the live show, and so I'm trying to give you guys an incentive. Watch it live, and if you ever watch the show and there's like an ad every 2 minutes, just stop watching, and within a couple hours I'll have it fixed. My apologies. That's just YouTube sucks.
All Dark says bye-bye. Beard of Power 666 is night. Oh, Bambino Ramos says, love you guys. Hit me up for Ghost of Tabor. Hell yeah, maybe we will, homie. We have always lived in the Castle Mary Cat. I haven't seen that name in a while, and that pleases me. Hello,
It pleases AJ that he hasn't seen your name in a while. He was so happy that you were gone.
Me to see your name. You lie. Mad double underscore vegan 00 agent 00 vegan reporting for duty. Guy son fist bump to you. Gecko Man 11 the game cat. Adios cats. He'll also do your insurance. Markio the legendary platinum underground game cat elite name squad of the house. He also is a fan of Legendary Tales in case you couldn't tell. Silver X is my dude. Thank you. He says take care, be merry, and game on. Game Cats. Flippy Nugget says, "Don't looks like I'm banned from Reddit again." Yeah, if only we could all be so lucky.
What did you do?
What did you do?
Reddit's fairly tolerable.
Dan Kiefer. Yeah, they are. They sure are.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe don't join our Discord then. Like, don't bring your toxicity to us.
8-Bit Mo's player in the house tonight. Same with Vince Virtua. All the us in the house tonight. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Virtual Resistance
Pretty us.
says, "Oh, a roguelike horror game, refreshing." All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Wait, we don't get enough horror and roguelite in VR. Somebody finally combined the two most needed genres. Give us exactly what we're all looking for.
You bunch of wise asses.
So good. Let's get out of here, AJ. Good night, everybody. We love you all.
Meow.